Good morning, YouTube. It's Kim coming to you with the first update from the enormous vegetable garden this year in 2021. And as you can see, I'm in the greenhouse, and mostly in here are chickens because you can never have enough chickens or beautiful art in your life. This is a really pretty glass on glass mosaic my friend Becky made for me. I'm loving it. And if the sun ever comes out and the sun hits it from behind, it'll be like super beautiful. I'm growing some cat grass for the cats to eat in this little pot. And then I had to get some things that were pretty that were blooming because we had a bunch of snow and it was very depressing. So, got chickens going in here, little baby chicks, not so little tiny baby. These ones are bigger. They're kind of outgrowing their space, so they're gonna have to move to the barn in a little bit. We are massively set up to start seeds here, as you can see. But it's still a little bit too early. I don't want to jump the gun because then you end up with these, really leggy, spindly plants that don't do well when you put them out. So I'm trying to hold off until March 15th. We'll see how that goes. I have onion sets. I planted out about 200 onions. These are my leftovers, so I'm going to try to find a place for those because you can never have enough onions. These are some of the cold weather seeds I'm going to be starting. And when I say cold weather, I mean they can be started with a little potential for frost. Something like Brussels sprouts or beets are a little more frost tolerant than pumpkins or squashes or peppers. Just had a bird skirmish. Settle down there. I don't know what that was all about. We are growing citrus. So excited for Meyer lemons, key limes. We'll see. I've never grown citrus before, so that's like super exciting. Those were a birthday gift, so I'm hoping to do them justice. We have overwintering some cannas here. We have glads that are eventually going to go in the ground, and I'm trying to, for the first time, I'm pre-sprouting dahlias. I've never done this before, but the tubers are in here, and when they get some little sprouts coming off of them, I'll take cuttings and try to root them that way. So interestingly, if you take a cutting from a dahlia tuber, by the end of the season, you'll have the same size plant as if you started with a full-size tuber. So it's a good way to increase your tuber stock. And these are some dahlias I had left over from last year that I dug that I'm hoping they will pre-sprout. And then I have a few, never done this before, but I figured I'd give it a try. I had a few little peony eyes that broke off, and they're actually sprouting roots. So these didn't quite have eyes, but they had a few roots on them. So I don't know if they will make sprouts or not, but we're just giving it a try for fun. And then very exciting things going on here. We have ramped up our flower production this year. So I haven't counted them, but I'm trying to get to 100. So we are growing cut peony flowers. So this whole enormous row here, which is approximately 100 feet, has got little peony shoots coming up. Let's see if I can find a bigger one. Oh, here's a huge one. So these guys are popping up out of the ground. So that's super exciting. And these little bamboo sticks really serve no function other than just to keep the dogs from running through. It's not working so good on the cats. But the cat doesn't really weigh enough to, hi kitty, to really smash these down. If these little things get broken off, then you don't get a peony plant. So that's kind of a bummer. So this is just to keep the dogs from running through. And then I have some behind this trellis, and I just put in a row of sweet peas right here. So when I say we're ramping up flower production, we're really ramping up flower production. And a peony is a perennial, and once they're established, they're really hardy. They're deer tolerant, but it does take them a while to get to be a big plant. So in this whole section, I'm planning to add in some of my zinnias this year. I have 500 zinnias I'm hoping to get in the ground, and those will all be for cut flowers, and those are just an annual. So I think they can share this space since the peonies aren't that large. And some of these are unnamed varieties, so I'm excited to see what they are. But generally, when you have a lighter color for the plant that's popping up, so you can see this one's kind of like a lighter, almost a chartreusey, whereas this one's a lot redder. Usually this will mean it's a lighter flowering variety, like a pale pink or a white, whereas if you have like a really red stem, then that's going to give you more of the magenta or the reds in general. So that's kind of when you get a mixed bag of peonies, it's you just don't know if what color they're gonna be, but it's a cheaper way to buy them in bulk. So let's see what else. We have I put some potatoes in here because I had chitted up a bunch of potatoes, which basically chitting just means that you're letting them grow little sprouts off the top. And a lot of people swear by putting just only allowing the potatoes to make 2 sprouts. I don't know that I've ever paid too much attention to it. I just like the sprouts of this. If this is your little seed potatoes round, I like the sprouts to come up from the top, and then I plant them in the ground so that the top sprouts are sticking up. But potatoes are so easy to grow, really I don't think it matters. Let's see, so we got some extra mulch. I did put in a row of lavender, so I have some. This is a Spanish lavender. I need to smooth this out. We had an unprecedented amount of snow. We've literally had like over a foot of snow, which is really unusual for us. So when it melted, everything just turned to a big, huge, muddy mess. But my goal is to have rows of lavender here for pollination and beautification. So I did prep these beds last year, which turned out to be a huge benefit to me because we had so much snow and followed by rain that any mulch product that you would buy, any kind of garden compost that's not bagged, the kind that you have delivered, was super wet and claggy and wouldn't have been appropriate for planting out this year. These are my elusive flamingos. Every garden needs some flamingos. They're not combative either. So these rows are, this is where I had dumped some horse manure last year, and then I topped it with compost, and it was really tall, and it's kind of rotted down over the winter. And now this is just like fantastic. This is just like exactly what you want your soil to look like. So it's humusy, it's beautiful, it's soft, it's crumbly. It holds moisture, and if you dig down, there's just like a ton of worms. So this is ready to go this year because I prepped it in the fall, and this is the first time I've done fall bed prep, and I think I will do it this way every time because it was so much easier for many, many, many reasons. I had the time in the fall. The ground is a lot drier, so driving a tractor on it is not as doesn't create as much compaction as if the soil is wet. So I was able to move all of this very, super simple and super fast. And I have tulips coming up in all of my little pots. So excited to see what those are because I forgot what color they are. So they'll be surprise tulips. And then I have some tulips in here and some lilies, and I have some mint, which I'm containing in this metal container because mint is pretty invasive. But I wanted to use mint this year because it's so dead easy to grow for my for flower arranging. It makes a really nice pretty filler, and a lot of times it roots. So that's exciting. And what's not exciting is this gabion wall project, which is still going on. I think I'm going to be building this wall for the rest of my life. I did manage to assemble this and get the first bit of rock into there, so that was a relief. My compost it's festering. It hasn't gotten hot enough. I really need to get some manure on that. I think I just need more pooping animals. This is some mulch that I purchased. This, I don't know what I was thinking, but this is what happens when you buy mulch and you've had a snowstorm. It's just absolutely unusable. It's supposed to be garden compost, and it's basically just like claggy clay. So I've been using it to backfill this section here, because in order to build this, you know, it has to kind of come out a little bit and get leveled. So hopefully when it dries out enough, this will be easier to spread and seed grass on top of it. I don't know, jury's out on that one. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Even Ava doesn't want to touch it. She's like, that is gross soil. So yeah, we have a couple more sections, I think, on this gabion wall. Really the purpose here is just to kind of retain this side and make it easier to mow, because right now the way we handle the weeds up there is with the weed whacker, which is super backbreaking. And you don't want to mow so close to an edge where you're going to fall off and die. So that's what we're trying to get going with that. And I wouldn't recommend building a gabion wall. It looks easier on YouTube. If you think you want to build one, just watch someone build one on YouTube and then you'll change your mind. So that's really about all I have to report. We're just starting to get some warmer temperatures this time of year. You know, you're always itching to do stuff, especially if you have a sunny day, but then it turns around and it's super cold. So you have to not get lulled into a false sense of security and start things that are just going to end up frosting. So I will hopefully be able to document this season. It was really fun to look back last year and see all of the different projects and the things that happened, and this will be the first year really we've got the greenhouse going. So I'm anxious to see how that extends our season or makes things easier or some things harder, I'm sure. But anyways, hope you guys are all having a great gardening start this year. Plant seeds, grow food. Bye, YouTube.